Hello everybody and welcome back to 32 Layers or Less. Today I have for you guys the Optic gaming logo. Now I do a lot of work for Optic Gaming and Optic Nation, mainly just thumbnails. I do some backgrounds and stuff like that too for them, but for the most part that is the extent of my work with them. I enjoy it very much and I decided to make an emblem for them. So first off, you'll notice that it's not the black and green, and there's good reason for it. They do also go with white and green at times. So my way of getting around most of these backgrounds being black is I'll make it white. Also, for the drop shadow that we ended up putting on it, we didn't put a direct black, we did a dark gray. That way it'll still possibly show up a little bit over the backgrounds. I'll be sure to check that when we're done. So basically what you're going to want to start doing is, what I did was I actually started making the O. Now when it comes to the O, it basically consists of two different shapes. It'll consist of, what is this one called? The quarter circle. And this one you can just use a square, use second lieutenant just because it's already kind of rectangular. But you can use any sort of square object. It doesn't really matter which one you use. And now, basically what we're going to try and do is we're going to mesh and form the curves to match that of Optic Gaming. Now, I will admit, it's not an easy task whatsoever. It's not easy to actually get the right curve. And then what we're doing is we're meeting it up at the bottom where it meets up with the other rectangle. Basically, this rectangle is going to be this one right here. This rectangle basically forms that little gap between what is there. And then I think I actually put a second triangle. No, cancel. I put a second triangle over there so that it actually matched a little bit more flush. So we're basically going to do that. And, oop, I need to change that. There we go. Now, there's a bit of layering that needs to go on here. Because with the Optic Gaming logo, it is above and below each other. And by that I mean that the G actually goes behind the O, and the O comes in front of the G at different points. So, what we did was we basically created all of the O. And then we're going to create our top layers, the layers that go on top. So then we're going to create the curve for the G, the bottom, and then the upright. And then for the other square, we're going to throw that behind most of the O. We're going to throw it behind the O so that it actually recedes back from the rest of it. So this is actually below all of the O layers. And then I added just some little embellishments. Basically, it's just like little glossy spots. I mean, it's nothing special. You guys don't have to add things like that. But if you do, you know, it can add a little bit of a special touch to your emblems and can make them look a little more 3D than normal. What else? Oh yeah, so then when it comes down to the shadow, basically we're just using some very primitive shapes. We're just putting a square behind there. Here, I'll show you where it is. Putting a square back there. You just kind of offset it enough, and then you just change its color appropriately. Now, you could go with black. Black would be a very stark shadow, but like I said before, most of the player card backgrounds are black or a really dark color. So your best bet is to not go with black. If you want to go with black, go for it. I would then suggest using a player card that doesn't use black behind where the emblem actually is, so that it actually shows up. Just looking out for you guys. So what we did was we made a dark gray. And now, like I said with the layering before, we want one of our shadows to go above the G so that it looks like it's actually creating a shadow on it. So basically, when we threw that G layer all the way down, we're now going to take the curve that's going behind the right side of the O, and we're going to bring it above it so that it creates that cutoff. And then the same thing with the G over that bottom bar. All we have to do is make sure that our shadow for the left side curve of the G is just above the bottom part of the O. That's all you need to do, is make sure that it's above that, because then it creates, you know, that little cutoff or that little shadow as if it was laying on top of it. So that pretty much wraps it up for this emblem. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you do, please leave a like. Let's try and get this to 30 likes. Once I get to 30 likes, I'll post the speed art so that you guys can see the process that I actually went through, if you guys want to try and follow along with that, as opposed to me explaining a little bit of what I did. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you later.